What is up, guys? Pie Muffin here, and we are back with some more Trails Through Daybreak 2. Last time we got started on the section right after the demo of part Act 1-A. Van and Quattro were helping Reset on a photo shoot, and now we are going to start doing some research on Almata's legacy, which is said to have something here in Messeldom. So we're gonna start investigating the city and see what turns up. So I guess first, since we're already over here, let's go ahead and talk to Officer Nate, see what he has to say. Detective Nate. Well, look who it is. You're that detective. Nate, right? Nice to see you.
Hi! 奇遇だね、ジュディスさん。
Oh Lord.
いやー、撮影に来てるって噂は本当だったのか。じゃなくて、
There it is.
どうしてお前たちがメッセルダムにいるんだよ。
We're here on a work trip, same as you, I'd wager. Let me guess, tidying up after Almata's turning out to be more than just a year-end job. Boy, you really know how to hit the mark. I gotta tell you, rounding up every organization on their fringes is a slog. We've been making arrests ever since we arrived early last month. Worst of all, they got 6 of us guys griming up one room at the inn. It's like sleeping in a sardine can. He's going off on a venting session. Works for me. Let's see if we can get him to spill a few beans. So they brought in Edith's best and brightest, huh? The brunt of the investigation must be a breeze after that. Heh, well, what can I say? It just comes easy to me. But the police can't take all the credit. The Guild and CID are in high gear on this, too. Naturally, we've cleaned up all of Almata's stragglers. Same goes for any group they've so much shaken hands with. So you can just focus on filming worry-free, Judith. That's good to hear. So in other words, they haven't found anything worth mentioning. So if that's the case, why haven't you gone back to the capital yet? Well, we're talking about a pretty wide-reaching mafia here. There's still a few bits and bobs that need clearing up, like the finer parts of their cash flows. But hey, that's just a tiny slice of it. We've got most of the rest on lock. That's what makes us the best and brightest. Uh-huh. So I see. Guess that means people in the know about Almata's legacy are in short supply now. Well, that gives us the gist of things. Hit us up if you get any new info, Mr. Best and Brightest. Sure thing, leave it to me. Wait a minute, why should I have to share information with you guys? Sure, it took them long enough. Don't sweat the small stuff. Alright, well, that's what Nate's up to over here. Let's go ahead and check out this optional 4SPG. About 9 years ago, I happened to lose a childhood treasure of mine here in Messeldom. Okay. Is that the only 4SPG? It looks like it. I want to go to that blue location first, though. Well, it's nice to get a good view of the area. There's a fishing spot. Red perch. I think I remember in Cold Steel you had to get this fish for something, for a side quest or something. Oh, but what is nice is it doesn't matter who you're playing as. It's not like, you know, Cold Steel 3 where I think you could only fish as Reen and his students. Any party member that you have, you can fish as. So that's kind of nice. I'm not gonna worry too much. I mean, every like area we go to, I'll try and do a fish or two, but I'm not gonna try it. I assume Let's see. So obviously you've got a lot of this stuff. Let's see. Fish. Yeah, so there's obviously going to be stuff for all the different fish. And then, of course, the end of this is going to be doing everything. Everything besides the EXs is going to be, I assume anyway. I haven't looked at the trophy list. I'll probably do it later.
メッセルダムの裏通り治安が悪いエリアらしいわ。
ま、例の元本拠ビルもあるし、無理もねえか。
Alright, let's see what this is about. Anything turn up on your end? Not yet. Where the hell is that damn brat? There's lookouts posted in every way in or out of the city. He's got no place to run. We'll find him if we have to turn over every last rock in the street. Someone's coming. You know the drill. What's up with those two? Sounds like they're in the middle of a manhunt. Something smells off about this. Let's just focus our investigation for now. We still need to get our handle on the situation at Messeldom. That is a fair point. Hello, kitty. Alright, so for now, I guess we'll just head to the 4SPG over here. Sorry, buddy. So this is where you were. Francisca, right? You're the one who put up that 4SPG? 4SPG, then you must be... The Spriggan, yeah, from Arkwright Solutions. We just happened to be in Messeldom for some business. Anyway, not to jump the gun or anything, but can you fill us in on the details of your request? Of course. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. Let's discuss this where we want to serve the others. So your request said that you wanted us to look for something important to you? What would that be exactly? Right, I suppose that's the best place to start. I'm looking for a music box, one with a little ballerina on top. It has a crank that you turn to play music. The ballerina will even spin as if she's dancing. Oh, I've seen those before. They're so cute. Yeah, I agree. It was incredibly dear to me when I was a little girl. You see, my father was a busy man, and because I didn't get to see him very often, he decided to have a gift made for me to remind me of his love. It sounds like he cared for you a great deal. He did, yes, but unfortunately there came a time where we had to depart from Messeldom. I had no choice but to leave the music box behind. It's been on my mind ever since. I've longed for the day I could come back and look for it. It's only now, 9 years later, that I've finally been able to visit. So you're trying to find the music box while you're still in town? Yes, of course. There's no guarantee that it's still here, but if there's even the slightest chance... Even if you can't find the music box itself, any information on where it might be would be more than enough. Does this sound like something you could help me with? Well, I think I get the gist of your request, at least. You had no choice but to leave it behind, though? It sounds like something crazy must have happened. Yeah, it does seem a little strange. It's not exactly hard to bring a music box with you. I wish I could tell you more, but I can't. There's really nothing more I can say. I apologize. Well... Listen, if there's stuff you feel you can't share, I get it. I mean, dealing with complicated matters is practically our whole business. But at the end of the day, you can't really expect us to head on a search for some music box without having all the info. I didn't mean to... No, I'm just making more excuses. Hey, you don't have to be so rude about it. Not like I don't get why you're skeptical, though. Is there a reason you can't ask the police or the bracers for help? I prefer not to complicate the situation personally. I only want my music box back. I did think about trying to find it on my own, but I'm a bit hesitant to go wandering around town. Look, I really would like to help you out, but it's ultimately up to our leader here. What do you think, Van? Let's see. She's got reservations about telling the truth, but doesn't feel like it's because of a life or death situation. Still, something's bugging me. Not that that stopped me before, per se. What to do? Yeah, we'll do it. Alright, we'll take the case. You did go to the trouble of putting out a 4SPG, plus, might be nice to do some extra legwork while we're in town. Thank you so much. Words can't explain how much this means to me. So is there anything else you can tell us about this music box? Seriously, any info at all would be helpful. Well, my memories can be a bit hazy at times, but I'll try my best. As I mentioned, it's a music box with a little ballerina on top. I think it was made of ceramic? Yes, if I'm remembering correctly, I was told it came from a famous workshop here in Messeldom. Oh, you must be in the Orwell factory across from the public bathhouse. Sounds like that should be the place we start asking around. Well, let's get going then. Gotta strike while the iron's hot. Sure. Yeah, she's obviously got some reason she can't just tell the whole story, but I'm sure we'll learn by the end of this. Won't be the first 4SPG where people haven't been telling us the entire truth. Like in the prologue of this game where the guy was trying to get the other guy's food stand just taken down. Oh. Forgot you gotta do topics. A music box with a ballerina again, huh? You can probably do this with auto as long as I'm paying attention. That's an interesting reaction, you know something? Okay, no, that's way too fast. Funnily enough, I happened to come across some old paperwork on it recently, so yes, I do. Well, that certainly makes things easier. Let's start with the simple stuff then. I'm guessing it was your shop that made the music box? That's right. It was actually crafted by my grandfather, but the request for it was made roughly a decade ago. The order slip mentioned it was a present for the customer's daughter, who wanted to be a ballerina. Money didn't seem to be an issue for the man who ordered it, though. I imagine he must have been a real up-and-comer. That's why my grandfather felt so much pressure to make it perfect. He poured all of his know-how into that thing. I don't think there was a single piece he was more proud of. Huh. Sounds like this is more of a luxury item than I thought. It really is, and considering the last time I looked it over, I imagine it's still appraised at 100,000 mira. His craftsmanship was like no other. Wait, you've seen it before? Yep, just last month actually. I'm not sure if you'll be pleased to hear this or not, but an antique dealer brought it in. He wanted me to refurbish some parts of the doll that fell off. Talk about a coincidence. I only realized it was my grandfather's work when I noticed his signature on the back. That's what got me digging through our old documents in the first place. Anyway, your best bet is probably going to that antique dealer. No telling if he still has the music box, though. Right, if the repair was last month, he may have already sold it. I suppose we should at least try and find him, though. Yeah. But if it was last month, oh yeah, here we go. I was gonna say, how do you know he's still here? You know if the guy's still in the area? Well, I've seen him around, sure, but I'd be careful about it. He's not exactly known for being the reputable type. Word is, he buys some of his goods through the black market. I've even heard that he has dealings in the underground club in the back streets. Black market goods, huh? That doesn't sound great. Well, it's the only lead we've got right now. Come on, let's head to that club. Thanks for the info, Ivan. Alright, well, we're getting some info on this, this whole antique thing. Yeah, stop honking at me. Let's go to the theater here, see if we can watch a movie yet.
ここの映画館マイナーな作品も余さず上映するのよね。
へえ、映画好きにはたまらないだろうね。
さすがは映画祭の街。こだわってるみてえだな。
It's a simple theater though. There's no like concessions. Oh no, I guess concessions are over here. But it's just much smaller. Alright, well, let's see what's playing.
隠された真実私が暴いてみせるただいま売店にて
Horror
上映
movie.
作品のグッズを販売
Robin, the Lady Justice, sure.
ご来館の記念に
Yeah, why would I not just bring them both? Obviously, I'm gonna need this for one of the trophies as well, watching all the movies. May as well get it out of the way. Robin, a rookie lawyer. Actually, I'm not going to read this out loud. If you are watching the video, you want to read this dialogue before the voice acting starts, you can. But it's just the movie, so I'm just going to let it play. I'll let it play on auto. Just because we're going to be doing a lot of reading in the story anyway. Virgil, huh? Virgil from Devil May Cry.
この通り防犯カメラに被告の姿が映ったのは明らかにバージルさんが現場に向かった後バージルさんの自分は被告の暴力行為を止めに入ったという証言と決定的に矛盾しています。凶器を奪って被告を止めたとの証言についても実はそちらから彼の指紋は検出されていません。この2点の矛盾からバージルさんの主張は根底から破綻していると断言できるのです。
脇が甘いぞ親父。えい、こんなのデタラメに決まってる。まさか最終審理に至ってこんなものを持ち出してくるとは。裁判長、今の弁論は真理地裁を狙ってのものです。この場において効力を有するものとは。
検察官の異議は棄却。新たな証拠を踏まえた上で継続します。最終審理であるからこそ、たとえ一つでも見落としは許されるべきではありません。
ここまで来て全てあの女、あの弁護士のせいか。
初めて僕の主張が受け入れられた。弁護士さん、本当にありがとう。でもこのままじゃ下手をすればあなたも。
大丈夫、私を信じて。無罪を証明するまで絶対に屈しないわ。権力とミラが法を歪める、そんな不条理にはどこまでも抗い続ける。この気象にかけて。
It's kind of funny because, as far as I'm aware, I don't think lawyers have badges. So is she like a cop and a lawyer? The portrayal of a victim suffering from false accusations from people in positions of power was unfortunately very true to life. The film may have ended with Eric's acquittal, but in the real world, many people in his position are wrongfully convicted. All the more reason we need lawyers who will seek out the truth and also expose people who try to suppress it. Although I guess that's easier said than done. That's why conducting proper forensic investigations is so important. As a researcher myself, I want to do what I can to improve that kind of technology. You know, watching that makes me remember how stressed I was during filming. I had to reread the script over and over again. There was so much legal jargon, and some of those lines were really hard. It took a lot of practice to get them down pat. Yeah, I get it. Even if that lawyer character was wet behind the ears, she'd still be comfortable using that vernacular. I did interviews with real lawyers and went to see some live trials in order to prepare for that role. It was very educational and very fun to boot. Hey, all that effort shows in your performance. You looked right at home in that role. Yeah, because obviously I want to get all the brochures. Oh yeah, also we're now back to, I believe it's 4 for everybody except for like some of the side characters. Like Yume's got 3, but 4 for everybody else. Yeah, and I believe you can only do 1 movie at a time. Yeah. But we'll come back as frequently as possible. Alright, so they want us to go to that club anyway, so... Oh, here we go. Hey, you found the portal. Wasn't too painful, right? So this is what they look like. Incredible, and we're the only ones who can see them? I imagine so, judging by the virtual router. Though, having said that, I'd say it's closer to AR than VR. Ooh, someone's in the know. You're right. This tech is an example of augmented reality. We think you can find more spots like it in a handful of places around Edith and convert them into portals. But there's more. Now that it's all prepped up to go, Marduk support is finally ready for launch. And that's what exactly? Just a little virtual service we're offering to help with things besides clearing floors in the garden. Take a peek next time you go online, okay? Well, we're here, so may as well. Yeah, so you can... Okay, we haven't done any fighting, so I'm not going to waste it right now. But you can recover your craft points. Oh, that's right, I forgot. So you don't just get the item. You have to get a certain amount of each one. So you have to get 3 of that, 2 of that, in order to exchange for it. And you can exchange stuff for rewards. And of course, you have everything else. So you've got your ornament settings if you want to customize, you know, everything here. May as well do it for our main 3 right now. Oh yeah, I want to make sure I buy all the drivers. I don't really have anything though, and I really don't feel like spending our quartz to buy more right now. Oh well, yeah, I can do some of this stuff. Okay, so let's do impede and sure break. No, it'll just be easier to do out here. Yeah, you can buy items. And you can buy equipment. I'll worry about equipment for everybody else later, because they're not even in this part of the story, so it doesn't make sense to waste Mira right now. Oh, and then you can do hacking trials if you want to just test stuff, you get points. Yep, but we still don't have the 2nd floor yet, so... okay, so here we can do it. May as well just do it the easy way. Yeah, and obviously I can change this. So we have Storm right now. Virgo, that's a healing one. I could give that to Quattro if I wanted him to handle healing for a while. Yeah, which one do we have on Agnes? Okay. Yeah, I think I'll leave things as they are for now. I don't think we need it specifically just yet. Alright. Killed a bit of time doing that stuff. Now we can finally run to where we have to go. Let's head down here. Oh yeah, so just your regular club. With, you know, it's like the one in Tharbad. This isn't your everyday establishment. Maybe not, but places like this are a surefire bet for underworld intel. That's about the size of it. Would you rather wait outside, kiddo? There's no need to coddle me. It's only the middle of the day, so we'll just take 3 mocktails. Right away, sir. Didn't realize bars even offer non-alcoholic drinks. Depends on the joint, but it's not too uncommon while it's still light out. This is pretty tasty, just right for an afternoon pick-me-up. I have to agree. You got some killer skills, barkeep. That's very flattering, sir. I'm not just talking cocktails, by the way. It's hard to tell by looks alone, but you're packing a lot of muscle under that uniform. I also noticed the glances you sneak at the door and customers. That's more vigilance than a typical bartender needs. My take's that you double as the club's bouncer. I'm lost for words. Are you perhaps involved in some sort of detective work? That's one way to put it. You wouldn't happen to be an ex-Jaeger called Robson, would you? Heard your story from Dingo. You were acquainted with him? That was a telling response. So you knew each other too? Yes, as you presumed, I am Robson. Dingo has done much for me in the past. A shame what became of him. So you already heard the news. Even now I struggle to believe it. Since you were a close friend of his, it would be my pleasure to accommodate you in whatever way I can. That being said, I would advise you not to bring his name up in front of the owner. Did something happen between them? In a sense. You see, our club's highest earner used to be a hostess by the name of Mistress. That's the lady from the Blacklake district. Mistress, huh? I know she and Dingo got acquainted when he was in Messeldom. But it sounds like there's more to the story. I can't discuss this too openly, but at the time, Mistress was being blackmailed into doing the owner's bidding. Dingo was the one who pulled every trick in the book to secure her freedom. It would seem the owner harbors a grudge over it to this very day. Damn, that's a hell of a history. What brings your investigation here, if I may ask? I'd be happy to answer any questions you have to the best of my ability, Mr. Call me Van. I'm a Spriggan from the capital. Ah, the one from the rumors. I'm here in Messeldom to find something, so we're doing a little info gathering. Have you noticed any sketchy developments here lately, particular in relation to Almada? The police were scouring the place as part of their own investigation not too long ago. But as far as I'm aware, they didn't discover anything of note. In truth, however, the owner has worked with Almada on numerous past occasions. It was only ever to line his own pockets, however, so he is likely ignorant of their inner workings. Even if he weren't, he's crafty enough to keep the police from delving into him too deeply. So he actually gave them the slip? Sounds like interrogating him wouldn't get us much of anywhere then. There are many others in this town that are also connected to Almada in some shape or form. In most cases, however, it was that they were either threatened or exploited. The only people who truly know what went on in Almada would be those who work directly under them. But the way I understand it, each and every member was arrested at the end of the year. At the end of last year. Yeah, it's still kind of crazy to think about we're in 1209 now. The year where everything is supposed to end if we don't get all 8 Genesis together. Which is also, you know, what Lloyd was going to be warned about by Ishmael Gareen back in Reverie. You know, this is the year when whatever is going to happen is going to happen. That is the extent of my knowledge. I'm sorry I couldn't be of more help. Not at all. This gives us a much better grasp of things. Yeah, you definitely saved us some trouble down the road. That pleases me to hear. We'll hit you up again if we need anything else. Heck, even if we don't, we might just stop by for some more drinks. I'll save you a spot at the counter. I like Robson. He's a good guy. A gift for Rune. Alright, that's a girl we have to talk to. But,
ありがとう。
っておくぞ。
聞かせてもらうぜ。
Normally this wouldn't be that big of a deal, but I've got a feeling the owner won't take too kindly to us asking a lot of questions. I love how we just have her like pinned in the wall and she doesn't notice. Might be easier to see if any of the dancers know something. Excuse me, miss. Oh, got a tip for me, mister? Feel free to put it anywhere you want. Oh, Lord. That's not what we're here for. Ahem. If possible, we'd like to ask you something. Doctor might act like he's all grown up, but he's still just a kid, huh? Doctor explained they were looking for an antique dealer. Oh, you're looking for that guy, are you? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's here today. Good, sounds like we're in luck. Well, where is he? I haven't seen anyone matching his description so far. Hey, the guy who just walked out of the bathroom. Yep, that's him. He's probably got some business with the owner today. Stops by to sell his wares here every now and then. He uses this place as a sort of hunting ground, finds suckers who are into buying old junk, then pulls them into another room for a sales pitch. So yeah, he's a little shady, but he's also a great tipper, and that makes him okay in my book. I see, thank you, you've been very helpful. Alright then, let's see what this guy's got to say. Man, that dancer was ready to take all of Van's money.
ちょっといいか。
A music box with a ballerina on top? Damn, I finally get it off my hands and now someone takes an interest. You sold it? Yup, gave it to the new owner a few days ago. Sorry, pal. I was afraid of that. Figure it wouldn't be so simple. Mind telling us who you sold it to? The original owner is looking for it. The original owner, huh? Yeesh, I don't want anything more to do with that mess. It was some old lady. Pretty sure I saw her wandering over by the docks this morning. Think she was wearing a yellow scarf. Thanks for the tip. By the way, what do you mean by get it off my hands? From what we heard, the former owner of the Orbital factory put a whole lot of effort into that thing. The old man was pretty famous at his trade, wasn't he? I kinda expected people to be banging down your door for it. Yeah, well, I thought the same thing. Hell, that's why I bought it in the first place. I even brought it down to the club to try and sell it to somebody who might be into antiques. Only thing is, every one of them told me that music box comes with a lot of baggage. Baggage? What do you mean by that? Sorry, lady, but if I tell you, I'd be wrapped up in it myself. Anyway, to make a long story short, if I couldn't sell it to some sleazeball, I figured I'd just target your average Joe instead. And that's how I finally managed to get rid of it. Not sure how I feel about you selling something with a sketchy history to the general public. Anyway, we should try and find that old lady and see what she can tell us. Yeah, if we're lucky, she might be willing to make a trade. Sounds like a plan. He said she was over by the docks. Let's go take a look. Surprised he didn't try to fleece us out of something that's like, oh, I'm not going to tell you unless you pay up type deal. So maybe he's not as shady as some of the other people we've met. I assume this is our old lady.
聞かせてもらうぜ。
Oh, a music box with a ballerina? Why, yes, I actually just purchased something like that the other day. Looks like we're on the right track. That music box brought back a fond memory of mine. I was so moved when I saw it, I thought surely Eidos must be guiding my hand. You said it brought back a fond memory? Well, you see, I used to teach ballet several years ago. I suppose it's been over a decade by now. One day, a little girl I used to teach brought in that exact music box. She said her father had given it to her and that it was her prized possession. Oh, you should have seen the glow on her face. I was a bit surprised by how lavish it was, but just seeing her enthusiasm was enough to make me smile. How lavish. Unfortunately, a lot happened after that. Her family was separated and everything in their home was auctioned off. When I saw it, I could hardly believe something so dear to her had been sold along with everything else. I thought, why not buy it myself in case I get a chance to return it? Her family was separated? I wonder what happened. Wait a minute, the girl you're talking about must be... Yes, there's no doubt about it. Did this student of yours happen to be named Francisca? How did you know? I think I'm getting a clearer picture here. Man told the elderly woman about the request made by Francisca. Goodness, what a wonderful coincidence. It seems Eidos really was calling to me to buy that music box. My house isn't very far from here. Let me go and get it for you all. That'd be great. Sorry again for all the trouble. If you'd rather not make the walk yourself, we don't mind tagging along. Van and the others helped the old lady back to her house to retrieve the music box. After, the group headed to the chapel together to see Francisca. Oh, my old ballet teacher, I thought I'd never see you again. It's been far too long, I missed you so much. If no one else, I hoped I'd at least get to see you again someday. I felt the very same. Though it may be a little more than happenstance, I'm so very pleased to see you again. My, look at how much you've grown. You've become such a fine young lady. I see you're still as quick to tears as when you were little, however. Oh, you. A reunion after 9 long years. I'm getting a little misty-eyed myself. She must be overjoyed. I'm sorry to interrupt your get-together, ladies, but I've got the music box you were looking for right here. Mind checking to make sure we have the right one? Oh, I'm sorry, I was so wrapped up in the moment. Let me take a look. Yes, that's it. That's the one my father gave me. It's beautiful. I can tell your dad really cared about making you happy. The melody is rather nice as well. The crank turns just fine, so there's no need to worry about the inner mechanisms being broken. That's a relief. I can't tell you how much it means for me to have this back, and to think you even brought my old teacher along. I don't know how I'll ever be able to repay you. Thank you so much for all that you've done. No thanks needed beyond the fee for our services. You know, I actually thought that music box might have been the other thing we were looking for. But I didn't catch a single whiff of anything fishy, so I guess not. Huh? You thought it was related to Almada? What in the world made you think that? It was just a nice gift from our father. Francisca, It's okay, ma'am. We're just fixers who happen to have had a few run-ins with Almada in the past. It wasn't until we were in the middle of investigating that I started to realize what was actually going on. I see, so you figured it all out already. To be honest, having to keep it from you was starting to eat me up inside. If it's okay, I'd like to explain. Yeah, I'm still a little clueless over here, so that'd be great. Several years ago, my father was the most powerful man in Messeldom's criminal underworld. His name was Enrique, Almada's former boss. So, she's the daughter of the one that Gerard took down. Enrique? Why does that name sound so familiar? I think it was written in Dingo's notes. I see, so your father had the music box made for you over a decade ago. Then a year later, Dantes took over Almada. I suppose all this took place while your dad was still at the top of the underworld then. To be honest, the rumors I've heard about him aren't great. You're right, my father did many horrible things while he was with Almada. He used to be a traitor, but his craftiness got the better of him, that eventually led to his takeover of the Mafia. These days, he'd be considered a bit player in the grand scheme of things, but there was a time when he was feared even outside the city. However, my mother and I only knew him as a kind and gentle soul. Just like what he did there with that music box. All he ever wanted was for us to be happy. Well, people aren't always what you see on the surface, that's for sure. Even so, the people of this town hold his name in contempt. To this day, there are many who carry a grudge against him. I was scared of what they might do if they found out who I was. And that's why you didn't want to ask anyone for help, right? Yeah. Hold on. We read something in a few notes a while back. It said that all of Enrique's family and connections were killed. The truth of the matter is Francisco was the only one who survived. 9 years ago, my parents risked their lives to help me escape. However, in a town completely under Almada's control, there was nowhere left for me to go. That's when an informant came to save me. He told me it was the least he could do to make amends for selling info to Dantes. Dingo. Hey, that sounds like Dingo. Yeah, it must have been him. Only somebody Dante's thought highly of could have gotten her out alive. I suppose that makes sense. Wait, you know Dingo? Yeah, he was working in Edith as a reporter for a while. Still did informant work on the side, though. Me being a Spriggan, it made sense for us to do business, but in some ways, he was also kind of like an older brother. This has been an incredible day for coincidences. I owe him a debt of gratitude as well. You see, several days after the tragedy befell her family, Dingo appeared to me once more to say, Francisca wanted me to tell you something. He wanted me to know that she was safe, but warned me to act as though she were dead. Ever since then, I've kept Francisca in my heart. I can only pray that we meet again someday. I see. Makes this reunion all the sweeter, huh? Is it possible Dingo's still in the capital? Uh-oh, here we go. I was always hoping I'd find him again someday. He introduced me to a family that took me in as a foster child. If not for his connections, I might never have had a family again. Unfortunately, searching for while Amado was still around was too dangerous. I always regretted never telling him how grateful I was. Well, what's wrong? The thing is, Dingo passed away. It happened last year. He was trying to follow up on Almada. In the end, it's because the information he left us we were able to fight back against Dantes. Oh dear. That guy was a hell of a reporter, that's for sure. He even helped me out sometimes. A lot of what I know is through hearsay, but he seemed like a really great guy. I remember he saved Marielle when a politician targeted her for digging into his affairs. Yeah, he was the kind of guy who was always one step ahead of everybody else. So flawless, you almost hated him for it. And he cared about other people to a fault. No matter what happened, you always knew you could count on him. Based on what he did for you, I guess he'd always been like that. Yes, even though he tried to feign disinterest, I could tell he was a gentle soul. But why? But why did it have to happen to someone like him? I lost everything because of Almada, and now Dingo too. I never even got to thank him. Oh, Francisca. I know it hurts, dear. Everything will be alright. Wherever he is now, I'm sure he knows how you feel. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get so emotional. I'm sure he meant a lot more to you than he did to me. You got nothing to apologize for. It's good to know there's one more person out there. Oh, God. This is a side quest and it hurts. One more person out there who misses him just as much as we do. I'm glad I finally got the courage to come to Messeldom. I've gotten back so much of what I lost, irreplaceable things. It's all thanks to you. And despite knowing that Dingo is gone now, even if I can't thank him in person, I can the least I can do is live my life looking forward. Sounds like a good plan. I'm sure that's what he'd want for you too. Well, that was certainly unexpected. Yeah, I'm glad we decided to take on her case, though. Well, there you have it. There you have it. That request is done. Alright, so at least for this part of the story, all we have left to do is follow up on the investigation of Messeldom. So we're going to continue on that next time. So that's going to be it, guys. Hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe more if you're new to the channel. I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful day, everyone.